Uh, why is this not? Can you guys
I think there's problem in your connection. Oh, hi, we can see. Yeah, oh, your mic is still turned off. Is it still mute?
hear me now?
Oh yeah, all good, all good. Hello, Shan. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm right. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Such a pleasure to have you here with us. How's everything going in Dream Living?
No, we're good. Hey, I can't complain. Things are busy my end. So as every day, back to back meetings, meeting people. But no, it's good. The market was a little bit quiet, probably February, which was in March, but we've seen quite a big uptick of things this year as we've come into April, which is good.
Yeah, nice.
How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good here. Yeah. All right. I think our audience is eager to hear from you. So let's dive into the all hands session.
Sure.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. We are so glad you could join us. Today, we are having the privilege of speaking with Shan Johnson, the founder of Bali Dream Living. We encourage you to stay tuned and join the conversation later by asking your question after the interview. Okay, let's take a look at Sean's inspiring journey. He started as the territory owner and local letting expert at Bricks from 2015 to 2019, then became a property consultant at Agent and Homes from 2019 to 2023. He also worked as a property investment partner at Investorgy and was self-employed at GBPB Properties during the same period. And he's the president director of a leading property sales company in Bali, Bali Dream Living. Sean, please correct me if there's something wrong here, okay? Because get this from your LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, no, my property real estate goes way back before Purple Bricks. If you're from the UK, I'll give you this short little snippet. In London, I work for Foxtons, where I started my real estate career as a lettings negotiator. Foxtons is probably the biggest and most aggressive real estate company in the UK. Worked there for a few years, left there, and then worked for one of their big competitors in central London and South Kensington, Chelsea area for I think about a year, called Marsh and Parsons, and then left Marsh and Parsons and actually opened up my own inventory company where I ran that probably for about 3 years off the top of my head. One of my clients then decided to poach me. I then overtook their branch in Wimbledon, which is a southwest area of London, as their sales director. And then from there, I went and oversaw another branch with a different company called Bushels, now part of Edmund Q, to run their letting side. From there, I then moved on to become an area director or area manager for a few West London offices for Barnum Marcus. And then my bricks career started, where I was the owner slash local expert, overseeing West London office, or West London, Southwest London as a territory. And then, yes, I went to Agent and Homes. Pre to that, SJPB Properties had been trading since Purple Bricks days. Both SJ, Agent and Homes, and Purple Bricks, you trade under as a name. I also work for Keller Williams, so there's quite a bit of history that's not there, but it's no problem. And then obviously Investorage, I was a partner with them in relation to their off-market opportunities. And then, yes, now Bali Dream Living for the last 2 years here in the beautiful part of Bali, Indonesia, Uluwatu.
Oh, nice. It's incredible to think about your journey from the UK to Bali. Okay, so let's move to the Q&A session. Okay, let's start from the first question. Transitioning from London's property scene to launching Bali Dream Living, what were the pivotal decisions that reshape your career? How can property managers apply this lesson in adapting to shifting client expectation?
I'll try and give you the short answer of the long, guys. But launching Bali Dream Living here in Bali after a career in London taught me that success depends on adapting to local dynamics. The London UK market to Bali market is extremely different from more aspects of the business, setting it up, your clientels, how you run it, how you deal with the clients, that being buyers or sellers. So we had to have quite a big pivot in relation to the business itself. Real estate is real estate around the world. We're selling property, but it's how the business is set up and the people we're dealing with. So, in Bali, trust, personal relationships, and creating lifestyle experiences are more important than just the fast transactions that you used to, let's say, in your UK market, where it's a numbers game. Here, it's about building that credibility, that trust, building the relationship, the buying cycle is a lot longer. So that was pretty much the biggest change. You come here with working for 17 years in London, doing very, very well, and then you pretty much learn very quickly that you have to learn the ropes again. The foundation is the same, but yeah, the model itself here is significantly different from, as I mentioned, even legislation. For property managers, the lesson is simple, I would say. Stay agile, anticipate involving client needs. So how the client changes and what they want and what they expect. And think beyond just managing properties. Create meaningful experiences with the clients. Yeah, they're here most of them are buying properties here with life savings. You can't remortgage or take equity out. So a lot of the decisions are more personal. So if you can create that meaningful experience for clients and build that trust and credibility, you have longevity within your business.
Okay, that's really fascinating. It's always interesting to hear how this early decision can set a course of for the success. Okay,
True.
let's move to the second question. What's one challenge Bali Dream Living that tests your leadership or market assumption, and how did you turn that moment into a breakthrough for the company or you personally?
Well, it's very similar to the previous response, really. Initially coming from my background in the UK, it's a transactional business model. So you believe that if you have the stock, so in here, if you have beautiful villas alone, you'll be able to drive sales. Not really the case. Now, the real breakthrough came when, again, I realized that building trust, delivering great service, and nurturing relationships were even more important than the stock you have to sell. So it shaped both the brand and my leadership approach, really. I always had that build of trust in my brands in the UK, but it's more in the UK, it's about having stock and you sell. Here it's different. It's very similar to your previous questions. So I would say that's what shaped the brand and the leadership approach, really. That mindset shift is, and it's not about having so many properties on your books. It's about realizing that you need to build that trust with the buyer and the seller, and you need to deliver that great service, create long-term clients, long-term trust, referral networking, and like I said, nurturing those relationships as you go along the sales cycle or the cycle of that buyer seller.
Okay, that's powerful shifts. It's really highlights how success here isn't just about inventory, but it's about the relationship and the trust you build over time. I think that's the key we can all apply, not just in sales, but also across hospitality too. Okay, moving to the last question. Having scaled teams from the UK to Indonesia, what core principle unite teams behind shared mission? How can we in Bukit Vista adapt these strategies for building high-performing teams in Bali hospitality sector?
Well, every company is different, every management style is different, every business is different. But from my company, Bali Dream Living Real Estate, I would say the three pillars we try and focus on is clarity, culture, and ownership. And what I mean by that is, we want to ensure that everyone in the business knows our mission, our vision, and our ethos. This allows us to deliver world-class real estate experiences in Bali to our buyers or our sellers. Another thing is respect and adapt, the local culture. And while doing that, bringing in global service standards. So while you're doing your changes and you're bringing in your standards from another country, still respect the local culture and how things are done on this side of the world. And then the ownership part, we pretty much empower our team to act like owners and encourage responsibility. This gives balance and drives performance and loyalty and innovation within the company and within the people. I'm not their boss. I'm their colleague, and I like to keep it that way. And we all want the same thing. We all want to be successful, and we're all got the same vision, mission, and statements. So we feel those are the key ingredients for a thriving Bali's competitive real estate sector, technically.
That's such a strong foundation, Shan. I really like how you blend local respect with global standard. It's a great reminder that clarity and shared value can guide a team no matter how diverse their background is.
100%. We live in a diverse world, diverse part of the world here. So you need to respect, like I said, culture, let that be local or who's ever on your team. Everyone's different, comes from a different background. And that's the hardest part. But once you adapt certain things, like I said, we do certain things in a certain way. Yeah, other companies do it their own way. But that's from our three pillars: clarity, culture, and ownership.
Okay, that's all from the question section. Now, if you guys have a question to Shan, feel free to raise your hand. Okay, Rehan,
Okay, morning, Shan. My name is Rehan, Shan.
Morning.
Maybe
I
the
like your
previous.
background, by the way.
Okay, thank you, Shan. By the way, previously you talked about the challenges you transitioning from UK and Bali, but I didn't hear any explanation on why you choose Bali. I mean, why you moved to Bali and why you start or continue your journey, even though that I see that you have a prominent and good career on UK. You know.
Yeah, no, good
Yeah.
point. Good point. Again, I'll give you the short version of actually what. Yeah, I got stuck here during COVID. So again,
Oh,
I had a very successful real estate business in the UK, but I was always looking to leave. I got tired of the rat race, being a number, not having a lifestyle, and then long story short, I was trying to get back from South Africa to the UK, and I came via Bali and got stuck here. And a friend of mine asked me to do the numbers on his development on the way to seeing our boat, and I looked at the numbers and I said, "Wow, are these real?" Like the opportunity that if you had to invest here within real estate, are these numbers real? And he's like, yes. Long story short, after the third close, the market boomed. I got a developer here that's a friend of mine. He did very, very well in the first month. So I kind of looked at it and said, wow, this market is about to move. And I've always wanted to live in Bali. I've had some really, really nice experiences here in Indonesia as a whole. Some really changed me for the better in my experiences. So long story short, I looked at the market and going, wow, why not create a real estate market in Bali? I love the culture. I love the people. It's beautiful here. I've always wanted to live here for 20 years. So I actually ran my real estate company in London while opening up my one here. And then funny enough, I sold my real estate company in London on the 18th. I did my launch on my real estate here to the public on the 19th, and I had my 40th on the 20th. It was a very boom, 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 boom. But to answer your question, it was just, I think COVID brought me here and they opened up the opportunity in the door, and I took it.
thank you, Sean. Maybe I will pass it into the next person. Maybe Mas Bayu. I also want to ask you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Hi, Shan.
Bayu.
My name is Bayu, CTO, Chief Technology Officer. Yeah, very interesting. You have a quite track record in real estate, so that's very goes back very far. I want to ask this: in your honest personal opinion, how do you think the future of real estate market in Bali? What I heard so far is some people say it's overdeveloped, especially Uluwatu, Canggu, and other popular area, or opinions like lack of regulations and other government issue. What's your opinion on that?
Wow, that's a very broad question, and I'm going to be careful of how I answer it because a lot of people might be upset with me. But there's a lot happening in the real estate market at the moment. There needs to be more regulation, and this is coming from a real estate person, but also an investor. I don't think there's enough regulation in place. There's a lot of cowboy people coming here and doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Quality is nowhere near where it should be, and unfortunately, it's just the way the world goes from a development perspective. But again, if there's more regulations, I think there wouldn't be so many problems. But the biggest thing is, we've got water issues that are going to happen if certain things don't happen. We've got obviously waste issues that are happening, but there's only so much the people can do on the ground. As a business, I can tell you what we're trying to do to try to combat the issues from a construction perspective. Now, we've partnered up with a company that is now offering surveys to buyers and developers, which is European recognized and Indonesian recognized. So if you're looking to buy a villa, you can actually get a third-party survey. It's not your traditional survey you can get here from other people. Like I said, it is actually European recognized to try and combat the rogueness. Same as a developer, I've got some clients of mine that are building to really good standards. They're not trying to do any harm to the environment. They're trying to do the best they can, but they're struggling to sell because their villas are more expensive. So, if you look at the current market, just from a development perspective, you've got no regulations on the developer side, nor from the government. In theory, there are regulations, but so we're trying to implement something in the middle as a company to regulate that. So, it gives confidence from the buyer's perspective that what they're buying is correct. They're not going to have rising damp. It's not going to fall down in 6 months. And then also from a developer's perspective, what they're bringing to the market is good. So that's how we're trying to combat that part. But yeah, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of development happening, but again, there's a lot of bad development. And that's where it comes back to my point about being transparent and honest and giving your clients the correct information. It's not just a transaction. You want to tell them, hey, this developer's never built before, you're taking a risk. Or if you want to buy in a zone, these are the complications, these are the risks. You shouldn't be doing this. If you do this, it's your responsibility. I don't hear that much in the market at the moment. I just hear other things like, hey, go ahead. Don't worry, but it could be complicated. But again, everyone works differently. We're trying to be a bit different. Your traditional real estate company, and I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. They've got their own way of how they do things and good to them, and it's worked. But again, now we built the business and we're building the business still off the foundation of the potholes, problems within the market, and going, how can we adapt? How can we change? How can we better the property market? How can we offer that confidence back into the market and, and still at the same time respect the culture and the heritage that happens or is in Bali and Indonesia? I hope that answers your question. So I might have deviated.
Yeah. It actually also answered my follow-up question, which is related to trust. So you still believe that sharing, there's only so much prevention that you can do for your client, right? But there are some unexpected things that might happen. So you believe that sharing this transparently with your client helped build trust with them, or did you scare away your clients?
Do you know? I would say more often we don't scare them away. But to be honest, I'm here to my business. I want to grow a business that people speak about and say you want to deal with them for the reason of what you just mentioned. They advise me correctly. So I've had situations where people are looking to buy not Channel Uluwatu, say up north, and they've come to me and it was a timeshare, same as here. They've come to me and they've been told X, Y, Z, and I've told them the truth and they never purchased because the risk was too high. But they passed me a friend that ended up purchasing through me because their friend was like, hey, I don't mind taking whatever risk it may be. So again, I did this in London. I firmly believe in being transparent and honest. It's a long-term game. It's not a short-term. It's not a transactional. It's about building that. I call them cheerleaders, those people to represent you when they're sitting in Australia or Germany at a bar and they go, man, I dealt with this person or this company and they were so good. They were honest. Because again, when you're dealing with buyers from around the world, it's very, very different than if you're sitting in the London office and that person lives in that area. They already know that a company's established. They know everything. When they're dealing with you in Germany, they don't know who you are. So your journey of trust is a lot longer. And again, unfortunately, in the last 2 years, there's more uncertainty in the market now than there has been since I've started the company. So it'll work. It's working fast. Like I said, might not others.
Good to hear because we actually also have the same kind of approach right now, especially in the world of sales and service. Basically, we always want to make our client happy, but sometimes the reality is not, and telling them reality sometimes scares them away. So I guess this will give confidence to our team here from the sales, Erika, and then also Kyla and Bella as well, that what we are doing, being transparent with our client, is a good long-term investment in trust. It's not only the transaction that we closed today, but might be in the future, partner actually have better trust with us. I think that's very helping. Shan, it's good to know that we are in the same understanding, same track, and we believe that this will work long term. Thank you.
It's a long-term game, Shan. Like I said, it takes time, but if you want to build that long-term business, you got to build trust because otherwise people won't deal with you. And in real estate, it's all about keeping that buyer within your real estate circle. So they buy from you, they sell from you. They buy from you, they sell from you. It's that whole circle because, again, I've worked in real estate in the UK. So some companies don't do that. It's a transactional. And then you lose that client and you keep having to build a client base where if you nurture it correctly, technically you got clients for life. And that's what you want.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer. Ganesh, back to you.
Okay, we still have more time. Fasha, please ask your question.
Great. Am I audible? Is my audio good?
Yeah, we
Okay,
can
great.
hear you.
Hi, Sean. My name is
Right.
one of the property managers here in Bukit. And hearing your experience kind of gave me some questions that I would like to know because you're more experienced than I am currently. And I'm still new here. I'm learning new things. As someone who also moved from, probably you know more about Bali than I am currently. But if you don't mind me asking, can you walk me through how your team stays organized and keep tracks of everything across your properties? Because I'm pretty sure you have a lot of properties under your belt currently. Am I correct?
The total portfolio size is 847.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And how do you keep tracks and like staying organized with all those properties?
A very good CRM system that we've built personally. So now I know you guys use Zoho, so do we. So I literally took the system, sat down and built it how I need it. So everything is categorized, drives are attached. It's very simple. If I click onto you, everything is there, all the notes are there, all the messages are there, there's tasks allocated. So it's about having a leveraging a system that allows you to do multiple things. As a human, you can only do so much. So having a really good CRM in place that can automate as much of the grunt work, excuse my French, as possible. So you focusing more on more important things. So, you're not sending emails, you're not responding in messages. You've got the system doing that, and it's basically nurturing that in the background. But, like I'm lucky. When you'll laugh at what I'm about to tell you, when I was in the UK, I managed 34 properties from my WhatsApp mobile phone with no system. So as a property manager, you'll know that's not the easiest thing, but I had a system in place where everything was done just on my WhatsApp. And I was in South Africa on a 9-hour time zone for 5 months. I was here in Bali on an 11-hour time difference, and I ran them all. I also did probably 7 sales in those 5 months, and I probably did, I think, 13 lets, and I ran it all off my phone. So again, how I've done it is also COVID. When COVID hit UK, I restructured my business. And on the basis that we never opened doors, and we didn't have a branch anymore. So I wouldn't say I'm ahead of the game, but I learned how to do things that I wasn't seeing in a branch. How can I manage multiple buyers, multiple sellers, rental departments, management, accounts, everything. So again, a CRM is super important. If you can build it to your brand and your company, it allows a lot more freedom and flexibility. And like I said, you can manage or oversee many, 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 many things.
I see. And just a follow-up question. How do you manage miscommunication between you and your client?
Well, what do you mean by miscommunication? Give me an example.
Say that you handle a multiple client, like you said, you handle things in bulk, right? And all your clients have different needs and wants, right? And in some cases, human error occurs. How do you
Right.
immediately mitigate those issues? Do you immediately go to them and try to fix them, or are you trying to find some way you can parlay with them?
I've got it depending on the relationship with the client, one, and two is how much you communicate with them. Because again, it's like anything in a communication is key. Let that be in a business relationship, a physical relationship with a partner or a friend. It's that communication of how you actually communicate that person. I'm lucky I don't have too many of those. So for me to give you a reason is a bit difficult. But if there was a miscommunication issue, the first thing I would do is pick up the phone. I wouldn't text someone and go, hey, John, Paul, Sarah, whatever their name is, can I give you a call? And then, yeah, what happened? Sean, I thought this was going to happen at this point. And your staff was supposed to do it at this point. Okay. And then trying to address the problem. The client's always right at the end. But again, it's about having systems in place, SOPs in place, a clear mission, vision, what the expectations are, what people need to do every single day. So in a case of if you have a disgruntled client, how do you deal with that? Some people might send a message. How long do you wait? Do you wait a day? 3 hours? No, that message comes through. You pick up the phone straight away and go, hey, Sean, I just got your message. What's up? I'm so sorry you feel that way. How can we address it? How can we help you? No, we're all humans. We all make mistakes. So at the end of the day, no one's perfect. But the communication from the start and how you set it up with the clients is super important. And setting boundaries also. So they're not contacting you at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely. Well, that helps a lot. Thank you so much, Sean. I'll hand this over back to Ganesh.
Okay, thank you, Rehan, Bayu, and Fasha for the question. I think we can wrap up the inspirational speaker because we have a time limit. Thank you so much for your time today, Shan. It's been an incredible conversation, and we really appreciate all the insight you have shared.
No problem, guys. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay. Feel free to stay with us if you like to, or if you have any other commitment. We completely understand. Either way, it's been a pleasure having you here.
You too, guys. Well, if you need me to stay, I'll stay. If not, I'll log off. I've got to have a meeting with my accountant in half an hour.
It's okay. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Ciao.
Okay, moving next to the next session, I'll pass it to Robin.